Once you start chasing something bigger than yourself, you'll be less concerned about where you are and more addicted to where you're going. If you're truly happy having nothing more than what you have right now, then you're lucky. Leonard Cohen said life is a drug that stops working. I've got dreams bigger than a 9 to 5 that I have right now, and it drains me, and it probably drains you, even if it's not 9 to 5, if it's bloody 10 till 6, or God forbid like 9 PM to 6 AM or whatever. There's just something about life that makes me want to accomplish more. It's that little voice in the back of my head that's like, you can do better than what you're doing right now. And it just really gets me going. It just means I can't sit still at work, and I hate sitting at my desk for too long. It's so draining, doing nothing. So, forget doing nothing. Nearly 2 months into 2025. I'm not gonna, got no time to sit around. My issue with having a career that you have to climb like a ladder is that it's kind of based on bad values like pride, power and greed, whereas a good, responsible life would be based on the opposite. It would be honor, duty and community. So they kind of conflict with what good values are, and they kind of force you to be a selfish person. Okay, let me rephrase. Being accomplished in a career means valuing greed, selfishness and power. It's looking at someone above you and going, you're sat where I'm meant to be sat. Whereas accomplishing things values honor, duty and community, where you put other people and the morally correct thing and the good of weaker people above your own interests, which doesn't happen when you're in a corporate world where if your supervisor or superior shows weakness, it kind of comes off that you're supposed to profit off of that and try to make yourself stronger and appear more suited for the job so that they get removed and you get moved up. I'm like, how is that? How is that a healthy foundation for any sort of community or establishment? But who am I to say? Your morals travel with you. When you're at the top, bottom, in the middle, at the highest point of your career and at the lowest, your morals will travel. So you might as well have them as good as possible and value duty, honor and community when you're at the bottom, so you know you will at the top. Because if you just wait until you're at the top to start valuing the good things, it's very easy to build that upon corruption and greed and power. So lay good foundations on honor, duty and serving people for as little expense to them as possible. You're probably going to have a much more fulfilling career and probably accept where you are a lot sooner. Who do you see in the mirror? Like, if you don't see someone you can rely on, someone that's gonna honor your own promises to yourself, your own duties, then who do you really have to rely on? Imagine you could swap places with anyone in the world, and the cost was you had to cheat, lie, and steal your way to get there. Would you do it? I'm assuming probably not. So that shows you that your success and what you want for your own life shouldn't come at the expense or a major loss to other people. I got one last point to make, but we'll make it tomorrow. Alright, that's enough of that. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "Be yourself. You are none of those things that you now do, think and desire." Every young soul hears this cry night and day and trembles, for when it thinks of its true liberation, it has an inkling of the measure of happiness for which it is destined from eternity. As long as it is shackled by the chains of opinions and fear, nothing can help it attain this happiness, and how bleak and senseless life can become without this liberation. So, I've just found out that the Frank Sinatra vinyl that I bought, it's not the same as the one inside. It might be a good thing. I might find my new favourite Frank Sinatra song, but they're just not rapping, they're singing about a ram breaking a dam at the moment. So, my final point. if you want to feel more comfortable and happy where you are, try and help people that are further behind in aspects than you are. You know, I'm not completely pleased with the way I look in the gym and my habits and my attitude towards working out. I went with my less experienced friend yesterday and just teaching him and realizing how far I've come from starting. Because this guy, he'll hate to admit it, but he used to bench more than me when I started. He took me to the gym for the first time and outbenched me. I don't think it would be fair to compare but anymore, but he helped me go from bad to okay, and now I'm helping him go from okay to good, and it feels good. I feel less upset about where I am when you realize how far other people are behind you. Just putting it to that negative comparison, it can always be worse. You can always be further behind. So just doing whatever you can to help people less fortunate than you get to where you are, whether it's physically with giving someone a hand, giving someone money, giving someone a book, or if it's emotionally and intellectually and spiritually by giving someone a conversation or your time, or being vulnerable with someone so they feel comfortable being vulnerable with you. It goes a long way. If there's one thing to take away, it's you will feel a lot happier where you are if you help those less fortunate get closer to where you are. Then you can realize and put into perspective what you've got. Your education, your physical health, your mental health, your coffee on tap, records, books, CDs, PlayStation, bed. There's a lot out there that we take for granted, and we'll continue to do so, but we can try. Yeah, that's just what works for me. The results may vary.